Bob Kerr at the line for Mayo. 22 seconds left here in this fourth quarter.
Over substitution number 20, Terry Hinton in the ball game.
Terry Hinton in the game for North, replacing Andre Gray. Tipped out to Mark Reese. And he is fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line with 2.1 seconds left. Foul on Terry Hinton.
Foul on number 20, Terry Hinton. That's his first personal foul. At the line for Mayo, number 30.
Robin Ingram on the verge of having his team move up to a 23-1 record on the year. For Mark Kiefer, it'll all end here tonight, 17-10. Again, no consolation bracket in the Sweet 16 format, which is one of the main reasons why this is the last year of it. High off the glass for Jerome Hubbard, and North looks impressive in a convincing win over Rochester Mayo, 73-53.
They made it look easy tonight. A great balance scoring, good team defense, just Khalid El-Amin taking great care of that basketball.
4 in double figures. And Khalid El-Amin says, I want 3 more wins. It would mean back-to-back state championships. A break, and then we'll take you to Williams Arena.
Right now, your Hyundai dealer's got more.
Now check into a new conversion van and get the added comfort of $1,500 cash back. See your GMC dealer today.
Moesha, Tuesday at 7 on UPN 9. UPN 9's game time coverage of the Minnesota State High School Boys Basketball Tournament is brought to you by First Bank, proud partner of the Minnesota State High School League. The American Dairy Association, on behalf of your local dairy farmers. Menards, helping build America's heartland. Banville Herbicide from Sandoz, now more than ever, still the best. Your Viking Land GMC dealers. And the Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company, makers of All Sport Thirst Quencher. The countdown is on. A season of hard work completed. Just one more goal to attain. A championship. The 1996 Minnesota State High School Boys Basketball Tournament on UPN 9. It's game time. Now, your host, Minnesota 9 News Sports Director, Jeff Grayson.
The second and final Sweet 16 is down to the Final Four. 4 teams going after a state championship. Come on inside the capital city to the Civic Center. Jeff Grayson here, and it should be a great night of high school basketball. 4 teams after 1 championship, and each team with a unique storyline. You have Minneapolis North, the defending champions, out to get 2 in a row, going after that repeat. Staples Motley, the team that North defeated in the championship last year. They're out to avenge that win and get to the championship. And then coming up later, you have Minnehaha Academy, the Giant Killers. They've knocked off the 2 #1 teams in A and AA, New London Spicer and Eden Prairie. And oh yeah, Ferto Beltrami going for a perfect season. It's been a sensational tournament so far. It's the last Sweet 16 we'll see for a while, and both of tonight's coaches, Robin Ingram and Lynn Peterson, are going to miss this format because they say these games won't make it fun. And here to call it for you, Dick Bramer and Janet Carvin. Dick?
All right, thank you very much, Jeff. When the Sweet 16 format was put together, one of the concerns was how much presence the Class A teams would have in the final 2 days of the tournament. No problem this year. 3 of the 4 teams in the Final Four are Class A entries.
That's right. I think a lot of people are surprised by that, and it's almost unfortunate that this is the end of this tournament because it has been kind of a fun thing for a lot of people, especially those people in the smaller schools who say, hey, we do have some pretty good teams out here.
And we do have a rematch of last year's championship game. This is a game everyone in Staples and Motley has been waiting for since March 25th, 1995.
They lost by 2 points to Minneapolis North after leading for much of the game. And, of course, Minneapolis North has shown behind 41 points of Khalid Al-Amin yesterday that they are the team to really watch in this tournament. But Staples Motley has a lot of balance. I think that's one thing that North has lacked a little bit, especially yesterday. And Staples Motley also has had a very strong inside game. So I think it's going to be a good matchup tonight.
Everybody here at the Civic Center and a lot of people around the state are still talking about what happened here yesterday afternoon and the performance of Khalid Al-Amin.
9 3-pointers. This one, as time expired, to win the game, they were trailing by 2 points. He went for the three-pointer and nailed it. One of the most dramatic finishes ever in state tournament history.
He single-handedly defeated a very good St. Thomas Academy team yesterday, but he had some help along the way, Jabbar Washington.
Jabbar Washington will be an important factor tonight. He's not a real tall player, but plays big inside, and he's going to need to have a good game against Staples Motley.
North is a quicker team than Staples Motley, but they might have the advantage inside.
That's true. Great passing here from Jeff Yeager, actually, to Chris Heyer. Heyer had 28 points yesterday and has really controlled the paint. I think they're going to have a tougher time getting the ball into him against that quickness, though, as you mentioned.
And Jeff Yeager may be a man on the spot defensively because he's going to be given Ozzie Lockhart, and how he fares against the relentless pressure that North puts on is going to be a big factor in tonight's game. This is a game Staples Motley has been hoping for. The old adage is sometimes you have to watch what you wish for because it might come true. It has come true tonight for the Cardinals. We expect a great first game here from the St. Paul Civic Center.
Hey, Boopy.
I don't think so, Baldy.
Got milk?
Karen Yeager's a First Bank customer, not just because she can transfer funds by phone through Fastline, or use her Checkster card instead of writing checks, or get an account summary from a Fast Bank ATM machine. Karen's a loyal customer because only First Bank puts so many ways of handling her family's money right at her fingertips.
Has amazing savings for all your spring projects. Get your lawn and garden in shape with tillers from Weed Eater. This garden tiller is $249. A rear tine tiller, $479. Keep your car or truck running strong with Quaker State Motor Oil. A case is $7.08 after rebate. That's just 59 cents per quart. Stock up on spring savings at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Wow, look at this car.
Ooh, dual airbags, too.
Great interior. Look at all the room.
I like that. That's cool.
Nicely equipped. Big back seat. Now, I could drive this car. Power windows and door locks. Very spacious.
Hey, Frankie, come on here. Look at that.
If you'd like a better look at the Accord than you got at the auto show, see your Honda dealer. Because the real show starts when you drive it. And right now, you can get 3.9% APR financing for 48 months on any model Accord.
Excuse me, could you please remove your hat?
It's semifinal Friday at the St. Paul Civic Center. Staples Motley against Minneapolis North. Since their championship game on March 25th of last year, each team has lost just one game. Minneapolis North lost to New London Spicer. Staples Motley lost their second game of the year to Fergus Falls. Since then, the Cardinals have won 27 straight. They played a tremendous game last year in the championship game, and we hope for another good one here tonight. Let's get the introductions from Dick Stanford.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the semifinals of the 1996 Minnesota High School Boys Basketball Tournament. Our first semifinal game of the evening matches last year's two finalists. First, the champions of Section 6A, with a record of 28-1, the Cardinals from Staples Motley. And the champions of Section 5AA and defending state champions, the North Polars, with a record of 24-1. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are your starting lineups for tonight's game. For Staples Motley, at forward, 6-foot sophomore, number 31, Kyle Stevens. At forward for North, 6-foot 1-inch senior, number 22, Kayvon Westbury. At forward for the Cardinals, 6-foot 4-inch junior, number 43, Dan Addison. At forward for the Polars, 6-foot 1-inch senior, number 44, Jamar Washington. Staples Motley, 6-foot 5-inch junior, number 54, Chris Heyer. At center for North, 6-foot 4-inch senior, number 40, Carrick Taylor. At guard for the Cardinals, 5-foot 11-inch junior, number 3, Jeff Yeager. For the Polars, 5-foot 11-inch junior, number 24, Ozzie Lockhart. At guard for Staples Motley, 6-foot 1-inch junior, number 22, Eric Kelly. At guard for North, 6-foot 1-inch senior, number 42, Khalid El Amin. Of the Staples Motley Cardinals, Lynn Peterson. Of the Minneapolis North Polars, Robin Ingram. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of the Sportsmanship Creed. The creed tonight will be read by Rob Upheim, representing Staples Motley, and Alvarez McKendall, representing Minneapolis North.
Good evening, and welcome to the Minnesota State High School League State Basketball Tournament. We appreciate your attendance at this tournament and hope you enjoy it.
The state basketball tournament is being played under the rules of the Minnesota State High School League. These rules provide for fair play and good sportsmanship among players and coaches. As athletes, we ask that spectators promote the ideals of good sportsmanship, fair play, and respect for our opponents and the calls of the officials.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Thank you, gentlemen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please rise and honor America as the Staples Motley High School Band, on the direction of Jeff Iverson, leads us in the Star-Spangled Banner.
From last year's game, Staples Motley jumped out to a 23-9 lead. North came back, and won it 54-52. In the first half, the Cardinals got 7 three-point baskets. They did not get a three-point basket in the second half as North really put the clamps on defensively. Khalid El-Amin, career-high 41 points yesterday, and he may be matched in terms of perimeter shooting by one of the great shooters in the tournament this year, Eric Kelly.
Eric Kelly has just shot unbelievably well from the field. Both of those young men, of course, are great three-point shooters. Khalid El-Amin, a new record yesterday, 9 three-pointers, which broke the record that was previously held of 8 by Brad Narveson of LeSueur in 1988 and Ryan Gieler of Big Fork in 1994.
The impression from the people who've seen North this year, and particularly in the tournament, yesterday's scare notwithstanding, that they're a better team than they were a year ago when they won the championship. Robin Ingram feels that Staples Motley is a better team than it was a year ago. He says this year they have more options on the floor. Last year, Blaine Yeager was their #1 option. Kelly is their #1 option now, but they spread it around just a little bit more. Inside, Staples Motley goes, and an opening basket for Chris Hyers. 28 points yesterday against Ricori. And Staples Motley opens with Kyle Stevens guarding Khalid El-Amin. Tough assignment. Yeager guarding Lockhart, and Lockhart ties it up. How the Cardinals do against this pressure may be the key factor in this game. Stolen by Khalid El-Amin. He's got Lockhart with him. Pops for 3.
He makes it look so easy to come down the full court like that and pull up for a three-pointer. You call it really the pressure part of it. If they can't get into their half-court offense, it's going to be trouble. North likes to transition, and there's nobody better in the tournament probably than Khalid El-Amin to lead it.
Otteson over to Yeager. Higher off the glass for 2 more. They're going inside early as they did yesterday.
That's the game plan, and it's important for them to get off to a good start by getting the points in the paint. Then Peterson says, we've always been an inside-out team. It's good basketball. North getting some high percentage shots also early. That one doesn't fall.
Eric Taylor with a miss. Free ball coming off for Stevens, rebounded by Jabbar Washington. And a miss rebounded by Otteson. It goes out of bounds to Staples Motley.
Kayvon Westbury really does hit the boards well. He, of course, had that big rebound off the missed free throw that set up that whole play yesterday.
Yeager losing the ball as he crossed the line. El-Amin picks it up. Washington scores. 7-4, North in front. Pass deflected out of bounds by Khalid El-Amin. North out in front early in the first period on the Banville scoreboard.
Things change through the years. Time and progress march on. And though the land hasn't changed, how you work it has. But one thing has stood the test of time. Banville. It's still the broadleaf herbicide for corn. For control that lasts from spike to canopy. Sure, things change. Banville just hasn't needed to. Banville. Now more than ever, it's still the best.
There's nothing like a Jimmy to help you stay on top of things. Get some peace of mind. Get a Jimmy. GMC is a proud television broadcast sponsor of the Minnesota State High School Tournament.
KMSP Television is purchased the broadcast rights to the 1996 Minnesota State High School basketball tournament. No broadcast, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and account of this copyrighted telecast is permitted without the written authority of KMSP Television and the Minnesota State High School League.
Janet Carvinen, Jeff Grayson, and Dick Bramer bringing you the 2 semifinal games here tonight. We'll have the third-place game and the championship game tomorrow night. So it might pay to memorize these names and numbers if you haven't already, because you'll see the same 4 teams tomorrow night. Eric Kelly, great three-point shooter, gets to take a shot. Kelly's two-pointer off the glass for 2.
Kelly has great touch, and that angle to use the backboard, you have to really be a good shooter with soft touch to be able to shoot from that far out and soft enough off the glass.
A blocking foul called on Kelly. That's exactly what Lynn Peterson talked about before the game tonight. I asked him, what are you going to do with Khaled El-Amin? So they're going to put Stevens on him, and if he gets around Stevens, everybody has to help out. You can see Kelly shifting just a little bit, moving his hip over. Good call. And Kelly picks up his first foul. Neither team is very deep. Yesterday, each team played just 6 players, and now the Polars can't get the ball inbound. Up ahead for Yeager. Stevens lost the dribble, got it back to Kelly. Pass deflected by Washington. And rolling out of bounds, Staples Motley will get it. Tarek Taylor fell on the ball and ended up rolling with the ball out of bounds. What a job Lynn Peterson has done. I think that one Class A team could... There's a steal on the inbounds by Westbury. Quick outlet to El-Amin, and Lockhart at the other end.
You don't see many teams move up the court as quickly as North does. Before you know it, they've got 4 blue shirts down on their front court.
Foul on Westbury. He is so good defensively. Robert Ingram calls him his best defensive player, which is saying something given all the heat that Khaled El-Amin and Lockhart can put on the ball.
That's true, and at 6'1", he's quick enough to guard the quickest guards, but he also can go inside against people.
Taylor came out to guard Kelly. Kelly fires a 3 and misses. Rebounded by Lockhart. To El-Amin. Back to Lockhart. Now they'll bring it back out. El-Amin, 17-footer. Off the glass, no good. Tip by Westbury, no good. Finally rebounded by Dan Otteson. On the run. Shot blocked. And out of bounds, it'll go to Staples. What a huge block. Was that Washington that got above the rim to block it?
I think it was. He was up there.
Coming in for the Polars, Andre Gray. He is the only player to come off the bench for North yesterday. And I think they're a little concerned about Kayvon Westbury, who rolled his ankle.
He rolled it on the other end, actually, going up for that rebound follow-up.
Fires from 17 in and out, rebounded by Taylor. Lockhart drives and scoops it up. Ozzie Lockhart with 6. Lockhart, of course, did not play in the championship game a year ago at the academic suspension. He and Chris Rainey sat the game out, and the Polars won anyway.
Well, Lockhart is scoring. Siegel was scoring some big numbers. He only had 5 yesterday, but if he gets hot, it's really going to help North.
Yeager's been struggling with his shot, but he buried a 3. Last year it was Blaine Yeager who scored 28 points in the championship game. Younger brother Jeff hits a big 3 to pull Staples Motley within 2. Lockhart drives, and he stepped down the baseline. Good help defense by Chris Heyer. He came over to help defensively and forced a North turnover, the third on the Polars in the game. Kelly's yet, I think, to take a shot. He has not scored. Pass inside, batted, still got to higher. He goes up against the double team. Tip no good. Otteson controls the rebound. Kelly for three. Staples Motley with the lead.
Kelly is 6 for 9 from, actually 7 for 10 from three-point range in the tournament. 70%, not bad, huh, Dick?
On the year, a 45% three-point shooter, which is outstanding, and he's done even better than that in the tournament. Gray with Kelly guarding him. Gray fires a three, no good. Washington with the rebound. Tip no good. Yeager gets the rebound. Stevens, higher, blocked by Washington. Another big block for Jabbar Washington. The ball goes out of bounds. Staples Motley will get it back. Kayvon Westbury back in for the Polars, but we got a timeout on the Van Bell scoreboard.
Time is my tale. It's a wanderer's song of a mighty land and its kinship with the wild and the tame. Here, peace of mind and strength of spirit are gathered as much along the trail as in the destination. To begin your Montana journey, call 800-VISIT-MT.
1 penny, 4.8 for 48 months. Very little time on Protege. And 1,000 back, B2300 SE. And 1,000 back, 626. And 1,000 back, Miata. 4.8 for 48 months. Ends April 1st.
It's a cliche, but it's true. Jabbar Washington plays taller than 6'2".
He certainly does. Here's Staples Motley trying to take advantage of beating the pressure just a little bit. There's Chris Heyer taking it in, and Washington taking him out.
I misspoke a moment ago. Eric Kelly did have the bank shot for a 2. He later hit a 3, so he has 5 points. Staples Motley with the lead and the basketball.
Westbury back in, number 22. See how he'll move on that ankle.
Kelly looked at a 25-footer. Stevens looked at a 20-footer. Oh, great pass from Kelly to Heyer. What a beautiful setup. 6 for Chris Heyer.
Great ball movement by Staples Motley. That's what they have to do, is look quickly and pass the ball quickly to get it inside.
Jabbar Washington misses. Follow-up by Taylor, and he's fouled by Otteson. First foul on Otteson, second Staples Motley foul. Talking about Lynn Peterson and the great job he has done. Get a look at the miss and the resulting foul. Think about it, though. 2 Sweet 16 formats and a Class A team, the same Class A team, has gotten to the Final Four each year, and who knows, maybe they'll pull off what would have to be considered an upset here and get to the championship game 2 years in a row.
He has done a great job in building the program. He started out in a little town called Deer Creek, Minnesota, which is real close to where I grew up in New York Mills, and built great basketball teams there, even though they were a very small school.
2 misses for Carrick Taylor. Westbury doesn't seem to be slowed with his ankle injury. Kelly with a drive hit the bottom of the rim. Elamine with the save to Westbury. Now Washington spins away from Yeager. 4 for Jabbar Washington.
And North really hustling tonight. They're going after all the loose balls. Really putting a lot of effort in. Robin Ingram came down on his team about that a little bit in last night's game against St. Thomas Academy, but they've come out ready to play.
Kelly all alone. He misses the 3. Taylor rebounds. And the Polars have a chance to take the lead. Khalid El-Amin with a foul on Stevens before the shot. Stevens committing his first personal foul. Quite a different game from yesterday's game for Robin Ingram. I think Khalid El-Amin already had 10 points in the first quarter in yesterday's game, just 3 so far here tonight.
Well, Ingram told me last night it was halftime of the St. Thomas Academy game. He said, tonight if we're going to win, it's going to have to be Khalid leading the way. And he certainly was right about that, because had it not been for every one of Khalid's 31 points, North would not have been in this game tonight.
If they set up El-Amin for a 3 here. No, it's Lockhart who takes it. Tonight it's Ozzie Lockhart with 9 points. North with the lead by 2 after the first 8 minutes.
Dodge Ram is #1 in resale versus Ford, Chevy, and GMC. #1 in horsepower. #1 in torque. Even #1 in payload and overall power. In fact, Dodge Ram is #1 in more categories than any full-size pickup. So it should come as no surprise that across America, Dodge pickups are #1 in sales growth. Now get up to $670 in savings on the hottest truck on the road today, Dodge Ram.
Before your next haircut, ask yourself a few quick questions. Is your hair salon open evenings and weekends? Gray Clips is. Does your hair salon clearly post their prices?
$21? Last time it was only $16.
Gray Clips does. Are the stylists at your hair salon courteous and friendly? Are they professionally trained? Do they stand behind their work? If your hair salon is Gray Clips, then you already know the answer. Gray Clips. Guaranteed satisfaction, guaranteed style.
Welcome back to the Civic Center. Jeff Grayson with a familiar face, Blaine Yeager. Blaine, last year played for Staples Motley. What's this like for you, watching your brother and the Cardinals play tonight?
Well, it's exciting. I didn't think it'd bother me as much not playing until this tip-off of this game. When the guys came on the floor, I started getting goosebumps. Probably because it was a championship game last year, but I'm enjoying myself in the stands.
A year later, when you look back at the '95 championship, what are your memories of that game? I mean, I know it didn't go the way you wanted, but people here are still talking about last year's game.
Yeah, well, obviously the tip back that beat us, that's a heartbreaker. We'll probably never forget that, but I don't know, just the overall, the fan memories, the community involvement, I probably remember most, even more so than the game.
Tell us what you're doing now before we send it back to Dick.
I'm at Mankato State University. I redshirted this year, so I'll have 4 years of eligibility left after this year, so looking forward to it. Got a good shot at starting, and if I don't start, I'll get lots of playing time, so I'm excited.
Thanks for joining us, Blaine.
No problem.
Dick?
All right, thank you very much. Chris Heyer fires and ties the game up. 8 for Chris Heyer.
Well, Heyer has really improved since last year, and so has Otteson. We talked about how Otteson in the middle, number 43, has dropped over 50 pounds and gotten in better condition and stronger. And that's what they've had to do to be able to replace the scoring punch from Yeager, who had 28 points in last year's championship game against Minneapolis North.
5 for Khalid El-Amin. The Cardinals start 4 juniors and a sophomore. Pretty good. Good bet. We'll see them in the 2A championship next year, or at least in the state tournament. Kelly for 3. Little bit long. Heyer flashed the rebound out, and a whistle and a foul call. If it's on Kelly, that's his second. Eric Kelly picking up his second foul.
There's Kelly on the three-point, hits the back of the rim, and Heyer keeps him alive, and Kelly got called for the foul. El-Amin had the better position. And that's going to be an important thing to watch right there. If Eric Kelly gets in foul trouble, it's going to be a difficult night, because not only is he a main ball handler, but he's also such a leader and a scoring threat on the floor.
Alley-oop for Washington, tipped by Kelly out of bounds. And off the fingertips of Washington, the Cardinals will get it. Big defensive play by Eric Kelly. The Polars by 2. Kelly to tie it up. Rebounded by Heyer. Rejected by Washington. His third block of the half. Lockhart scores it. And Ozzie Lockhart has 11 first half points.
Well, Yeager with the basketball right there is going to have to make sure he gets back on defense a little bit more quickly when Eric Kelly goes in there for a shot or a rebound.
Lost off the fingertips of Stevens.
Stevens is wide open, but again, look at the quickness of Washington and North.
Polars have been doing this more this year than last year, bringing it out, trying to bring the defense out to them. Elamine with 7. And North has its largest lead. Kelly brings the ball up. 2 of 7 from the field so far for Eric Kelly. Credit some of that, at least, to Kayvon Westbury. Higher lost it off the fingertips out of bounds. Washington tried to disrupt the pass and may have done so. Lynn Peterson confessed, yeah, he wanted this game. When he saw that his team was going to be in here, he assumed North was going to be in here. He got a look at the brackets and, yeah, this is what they wanted.
You mentioned how North likes to slow the ball down on occasion and spread the floor. It has been very effective for them. And they're a team, you know, they can run and are great in transition, but yet when it comes down to half-court execution, they can really control the basketball and the tempo of the game.
Other teams have been trapped into doing what North wants, spreading the defense out, and 3 passes and about 2.5 seconds later, there's a ball going through the basket. Staples being a little bit more deliberate. 2-man game, Alamine to Washington. The shot missed. Taylor with the rebound, and a second foul on Kyle Stevens.
Well, there's a shot off the pick and roll by Washington, but it's Carrick Taylor with the offensive rebound. He only had 4 points yesterday, but he had a big night on the first day of basketball here against Mayo. He was a perfect 9 for 9 from the field with 18 points for Carrick Taylor.
He's missed 2 free throws already tonight. That's short.
Not many people can say they shot 100% from the field in a game.
No.
Unless they were maybe 1 for 1 or something.
Yeah, Taylor went 9 for 9, Washington 8 for 9, and neither one of them was our player of the game.
That's right. And that was the kind of balance that we saw that first night against Mayo.
It's a 7-point lead for Minneapolis North on the First Bank scoreboard.
Jim Munoz isn't a First Bank customer just because they gave him his first checking account, or the car loan that he wanted, or the school loan that he needed. Jim's a First Bank customer because they gave his dad the business loan that he needed to grow the company and hire the right talent to make it prosper.
That sound you hear is your good friend, Opportunity. And it's here to tell you that right now, you can lease a luxurious Lexus LS 400 for only $699 a month. But hurry, because the only thing more annoying than an insistent friend is having no friend at all. Answer the knock today at Lexus Aboizeta.
Minneapolis North with a 7-point run to open up a 7-point lead. The officials tonight, Roger Neal and M. Charles Carr. Cardinals back here for the 2nd straight year. Mentioned next year, of course, we've got a 4-class format. Staples Motley will be in the 2A bracket. Inbounded to Kelly. Kelly played for Lynn Peterson as an 8th grader. He's a 3-year starter. Barely got it across to Yeager. Higher is fouled by Jabbar Washington. Washington trying for his 4th block.
And he's made some big ones early, but on this one you can see he came kind of from behind.
Now, the block was clean, but it looked like he got him, this gives you some idea about his athleticism, got him with a knee in the back. He'd gotten up so high, looked like he kneed higher between the shoulder blades.
I don't think I ever kneed anybody in the back before.
Not while they were standing, anyway.
No.
That breaks a 7-point run for North. Less than 4 minutes to play in the half. Kelly guarding Westbury, the lesser of the offensive threat for the North Polars. And he gets a follow-up basket off of a miss by Elamine. And a lot of Staples Motley fans right now are cringing with the flashback. Did he get the timeout? Yes. Falling out of bounds, Heyer called a timeout before turning the ball over. 3:32 left in the first half with North leading by 7.
The man was an animal. Jeffrey? All through lunch. There's bacon flying this way, cheese flying that way.
Hardee's introduces the ultimate bacon cheeseburger.
Didn't just eat it, he attacked it.
Sizzling bacon, melted Swiss and American cheese. It's all burger. All mine.
So what'd you do then? Took him to a chick flick.
That's some burger.
Tonight, shopping.
The new ultimate bacon cheeseburger from Hardee's. So what'd you have for lunch today? Enjoy the ultimate omelet biscuit at breakfast tomorrow for just 99 cents.
For years now, Ford Escort has come to mean the best value in a small car. And now get even more value with $1,000 cash back or 4-8 financing during the Escort closeout. Buy or lease a new 96 3-door Escort and get $1,000 cash back. Or save with low 4-8 financing. Plus, get standard features like dual airbags, air conditioning, AM/FM stereo, alloy wheels, and a rear spoiler. But $1,000 cash back or 4-8 financing during the Escort closeout is only for a short time and only at your Northland Ford dealer.
The North Polars are number 1 till someone proves otherwise. Staples Motley trying to do that. Right now the Polars lead it by 7. Westbury nearly saved it for Elamine. Elamine takes a little rest along the Staples Motley bench. Left in the first half. A lot is going to be expected and asked of Eric Kelly in tonight's game. So much of the ball handling responsibility against relentless pressure, and the question of course is how will he do with that and whether all that extra work will affect his shot. A foul called on Westbury, and that is his second foul.
Well, I don't think Kelly had the best shot in the world that time, but just trying to get something to happen and taking some initiative there. You can see him driving into the free throw line, shot fake, and going forward into the defense. Smart play to get to the free throw line.
North with 3 team fouls. Westbury with 2 of them. Eric Kelly. 3 minutes to play. 6-point North lead. Elamine over Stevens. Hits. I don't think he's missed.
You know, there's not a whole lot you can do about that as a defender. Stevens is playing him tight and tough, but Elamine just can stop and pop and send right over you to nail those shots. Anything in the paint for him is crazy.
Lob for Heyer, and it's knocked out of bounds by Jabbar Washington.
Washington's been fronting Heyer, and that's a smart play for Staples Motley to look for the lob, but again, Washington finding a way to bust up the play.
Heyer on the inbounds, goes up strong and scores. 12 for Chris Heyer. Elamine playing with a slightly sore right hand. little bit too long, and now Andre Gray comes off the north bench. And he'll replace Kayvon Westbury, who leaves the game with 2 fouls. Minute and a half to play in the first half. Lockhart. I don't think he's missed. 13 for Lockhart. North getting almost all of its scoring from its 2 outstanding guards, Elamine and Lockhart. Elamine with 2 more. And it's a 12-point lead for North.
North has a way of putting these little runs together, though. And that's why they're so dangerous. Before you know it, you're down 10 points.
Stevens for 3. Short. Rebound to Taylor. Elamine. 2 more. Their field goal percentage for the half is going to be phenomenal. Inside, Addison misses a short one. Second try, no good, but he's fouled by Taylor.
Addison going to line now has not really been involved very much in the offense. He's going to need to become a lot more aggressive in wanting the basketball, calling for it, and trying to, again, be more aggressive on the offensive board.
Jerry Hinton into the ball game for North as Eric Taylor will sit down. First point. Then Peterson 2 and 1 against AA teams over the last 2 years. The loss, of course, to North in the championship game. From the field in the half.
Wow. Somehow you just knew he was going to take it.
Colin Elamine with 41 last night. And in the first half, he's got 17, and the Polars lead by 14. A year ago, Staples Motley led this game at the half by 5. And North is shooting the lights out of the basket in the first half. It's a 14-point lead here tonight. Let's go to Jeff Grayson and Lynn Peterson.
All right, thanks, Dick. Well, Coach, I know not a position you want to be in right now, but what do you think of the first half? What do you have to do?
Well, the first quarter, everything went all right, I guess. The second quarter, we lost our composure on the offensive end. We didn't have everybody contributing very well, not just in scoring, but movement, cutting, screening, and then Khalid kind of took over. We're going to have to look at some changes.
What are you going to tell them to try to get back in this game down 14? Do it a bit at a time, or what do you want to do?
Oh, we'll get back in it. You know, we just got to be patient. We just have to do things a little bit better.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. That's Lynn Peterson. Not an enviable position. Back to you, Dick.
Our GMC Vikingland 10 giving you a wide shot of the floor at the St. Paul Civic Center. The North Polars in control of this game. The big rematch heavily in North's favor after the first half.
If your life is full of demands, get the vehicle that meets them best. Safari from GMC. With the most towing and cargo capacity in its class, it's the only way to get your show on the road. Get the ultimate in family vans. Get a Safari. GMC is a proud television broadcast sponsor of the Minnesota State High School Tournament.
There are bounties in life you couldn't begin to measure, and yields that take a generation to know. For that other crop coming up, there's Basis Post-Emergence Herbicide. Basis has won past control of the grasses and broadleaf weeds that worry you most for about $12 an acre, half the cost of most pre-programs. Basis, because life's a harvest, and corn isn't all you're raising.
After one half of football, San Francisco leads New York 540 to 310.
In the future, it won't be just how hard you play, but how good your sports drink works. With a third more carbs than Gatorade and B vitamins to unlock carbohydrate energy. All Sport is not just a thirst quencher. It's a body quencher.
Isn't that new 300-pound ball?
Yeah, here you go.
This is a Minnesota 9 News Update.
Good evening, I'm Robin Robinson. A majority voted to expel him, but Representative Jeff Bertram gets to keep his job. The vote was 68 to 65 in favor of kicking Bertram out of the House, but that was 22 votes short of the 2/3 needed for expulsion. Bertram admitting spreading false rumors and pressuring a store owner to drop shoplifting charges against his brother. The House continues to debate possible punishment. The tiny town of Weyauwega, Wisconsin is coming back to life. After 3 weeks, hundreds of Weyauwega residents are returning to their homes. They were evacuated 18 days ago when a train carrying liquid propane ran off the tracks. It's taken this long for safety crews to burn off the fuel and clean up the mess. Wisconsin Central Railroad promises to pay for expenses and damages. We'll have more news after the game. Please join us.
If you ask Minnesota 9 News photographers what their most difficult assignment is, they'd probably say when our reporters are on the loose. Most convenient things in the last 24 hours? Takeout last night. And if you really want to see what goes on behind the scenes, you could learn to operate a boom mic. Or you can catch the entertainment report on Minnesota's most convenient newscast.
Menards has the right products for your home. Save on our entire selection of door and window hardware from Right Products. Door closers are just $3.98. Storm and screen knob latches only $4.49. Get the best lock for your money with Harlock. All styles are on sale now, including passage lock sets with bright brass finish, now just $5.98. Find the best for your doors at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
I have 21 horses to look after and over 25 snow-covered acres to take care of.
Michelle Schuler runs a boarding stable, and she couldn't go a day without her Chevy Blazer.
A lot of people trust me with their horses. I trust the Chevy Blazer, and it's been a real asset around here.
Right now, lease a Chevy Blazer for only $2.99 a month for 30 months. A Blazer for $2.99 a month just makes good horse sense.
It's easy to see why Blazer puts the competition out to pasture.
The Chevy Truck 100,000-mile club. Only at your Heartland Chevrolet Geo dealer.
The Thompsons got their home equity installment loan from First Bank, not just because they could finance their car and deduct the interest, or get convenient ways to manage their money, or pay for the new addition to their home. They chose First Bank because the bank loaned them 100% of the equity in their home, which let them consolidate their finances and their family all at once.
For special rates and no closing costs, apply by phone today.
We're at halftime in our first semifinal on semifinal Friday of the Sweet 16 boys basketball tournament. Minneapolis North looking very much like the defending champion. They have a commanding lead over last year's runner-up Staples Motley. Jeff Grayson back at the Civic Center, and I'm joined by the executive director of the Minnesota State High School League, Dave Stead. Dave, what a month of March we have had, and I know that this boys basketball tournament, a lot of fun this year in '96 too.
Well, this has been a fantastic run. We were talking earlier about the hockey and then the girls basketball last week. A lot of upsets this week, and just a fantastic tournament. I think it speaks well for what the coaches are doing with the kids and the skill level that the athletes have in our Minnesota schools.
Well, what feedback do you get? I know we talked somewhat at the hockey tournament the day after the 5-overtime epic game that everyone is still talking about. Then we had 2 upsets in the girls' championship. There's been a lot of memories in the making here in March.
Well, there have been, and I think that's the interesting part about high school basketball and high school sports in general, is that the kids seem to rise to the occasion, and no matter what you try to place them into, they always seem to come out of it on top, and they really rise to the very top.
I know that there is a new activity. There's a new thing going on with Minnesota State High School League. Tell us about that.
Well, our representative assembly voted to add dance team as a high school league activity next year, not to be confused with a sport. There was a lot of media confusion about that, and I want to clarify that. What we'd be doing next year is exactly the same thing that the schools are doing this year. The only difference is the Minnesota State High School League will be running the activity instead of the Minnesota Association of Dance Teams. We've had organizations come to us in the past, like the chess people, for example, and said, would you run a program for us? And our school said we'd be happy to do that. So it's no different than that kind of activity.
You know, this is the Sweet 16, the second and final year of it. You go 4 classes in 97. Let's talk a little bit about the pros and the cons to give fairness to both sides here. What do you like about this format, and what are you looking forward to as the coaches have decided to go with 4 in boys and girls next year?
Well, I think the excitement that you feel in the arena tonight is what the Sweet 16 has been all about. It's an opportunity for teams to come together, and there were some glitches in the system after last year, and the basketball coaches talked about how they could fix things. And as they talked about that, they felt that 4 classes, giving more people an opportunity, with the first round games being held throughout Minnesota, would give basketball fans a better look at what's going on. So with their recommendation, we went back and asked the schools and said, tell us what you think. The member schools voted by 80% to look at the 4-class program for next year. So our job is to set that program up and present the best possible format we can, to evaluate that, and then see what comes from us.
Did it surprise you how resounding the vote was, like you said, about 80-20 in favor of going to 4?
Yeah, it really did surprise me. I knew that there were a lot of people who were in favor of the 4-class, and as I talked to them and as they came around with their ideas, it seemed that the momentum was going in that direction. So I think the ultimate thing that they try to do is to provide the best program for kids that they can. The schools believe that this will be the very best for them. I think the excitement that you see in these kinds of games will continue next year, and we're looking forward to some very, very good games in the future as well.
When you look back at the tournaments here in '96, are there any particular moments that you're going to remember and recollect and talk about with people in the future, fondly, some of the memories that you've seen here in our tournament?
Well, I think I'll always remember standing here at 20 minutes to 2 in the morning with about 10,000 other people watching 2 fantastic teams play hockey. The thrill and the celebration at the girls' tournament last year, and the way the girls' skill level have been elevated. It's just unbelievable the kinds of things that the high school girls are able to do athletically. And then some of the last-second shots that Khalid made in the game yesterday. I think those will be talked about for a long, long time.
I agree. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jeff. My pleasure.
That is Dave Stead, the executive director of the Minnesota State High School League. Back with more halftime programming, including a look in the first 2 quarters as game time on UPN 9 continues.
He's taken some of the hardest hits the NFL could dish out, but nothing could prepare him for this.
Now that was a rush.
Mervyn Super Sale ends Sunday.
With 4 doors, tons of interior space, comfortably contoured seating, and a great stereo, the Plymouth Neon sedan is a huge kick for cruising. While the Plymouth Neon Espresso Coupe's 132 horsepower engine and fully independent suspension make it a real kick in the passing lane. Plymouth Neon Coupe or sedan. It's never middle of the road. $99.95 for starters, $12.7 nicely equipped.
When cars raced at an awesome 5 miles per hour, Mobil Oil was there. When a race car broke 100, Mobil was in it. Mobil was in the winner of the first race across America. And since then, Mobil has been in more Indy 500 winners than any other oil in the history of Indy. So if you think that all oils are alike, think about something. At Mobil, we've been changing oil for over 125 years.
Hi, I'm Christine Breitling, and I'm from Verndale High School.
And I'm Adam Alterbergi from Hillcrest Lutheran Academy.
And we're the AAA winners from Region 6A.
The State High School Tournament continues here on UPN 9.
Welcome back to the St. Paul Civic Center, Minneapolis North in control through the first 16 minutes. A year ago in the championship game, it was Staples Motley that seemingly didn't miss a shot early in the game. And in tonight's game, it's Minneapolis North. Very, very hot from the outside. They're getting some layups, but their jump shooting has been outstanding in this first half.
It really has. As you said, most of it has come from the perimeter. Ozzie Lockhart got things rolling for them, and Khalid El-Amin just took over single-handedly in the second quarter to really give them a big lead over Staples Motley.
Well, Minneapolis North off to a very good start, a very talented team. And a save in here for Kayvon Westbury to Jabbar Washington, and Washington working inside for one of his 2 field goals, but clearly the big story in the first half, the shooting of Ozzie Lockhart and Khalid El-Amin. Now, this buzzer beater, not quite as dramatic as his last buzzer beater, but a big basket for North nonetheless.
It was, and again, look at the time. He timed it perfectly. A nice high percentage shot, but he is so deadly tonight from pretty much anywhere, but especially if it's inside 15 feet. There's great ball movement by Staples Motley from Kelly into Heyer. Heyer had a good first half with 12 points. He's going to need more help, though. Corey Addison's been kind of quiet.
And Eric Kelly, relatively quiet, just 6 points. This is his 3-point basket. But he did not shoot the ball particularly well, at least not as well as we have seen him shoot in this tournament. Just 6 points. The Cardinals are not where they were a year ago at the half against North, and certainly not where they want to be. Down by plenty here at the half. We'll have the second half for you in just a moment.
Can I get some milk, please?
She got the last one.
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
We need 2 specials. All right, let's not take half of the bag, huh? Ooh.
Got milk?
Check, please.
I wonder if the neighbor's got an ALS-resistant wheat. Now that's what I call a resistant wheat. Hey, old Buck's good, but with Bucktril, we manage ALS resistance before it's a problem. Right, boy? Want to know more? Drop by your Bucktril dealer soon.
You asked for it. Now come and get it. Cash back. Now through April 3rd only, Pontiac's biggest cash back of the year, including a $500 cash bonus on any new Pontiac. Choose cash back up to $1,500 or 4.8 financing on a new Pontiac, plus $500 bonus cash. $500 bonus cash on top of your most exciting Pontiac deal. Limited time offer. Hurry to your Pontiac excitement dealer.
Welcome back to the Civic Center from the GMC Vikingland Am. The wide-angle view of the floor here at the Civic Center. Minneapolis North getting 30 of those 37 points from Ozzie Lockhart and Khalid El-Amin. And North shooting phenomenally well, 63% from the field.
The other things that really tell the story are the rebound situation and also turnover. Staples Motley having trouble getting the ball into the front court. Some costly turnovers have been converted by North, but also just kind of throwing Staples Motley off as far as getting into a half-court offense. You heard Lynn Peterson talk about how they're not really moving very well, cutting. So we'll see if they can get something going on that end and take better care of the basketball, but it's hard to argue and combat 63% shooting also.
The defensive pressure that they put on Eric Kelly and Jeff Yeager, the guards, is exactly the type of pressure they faced in the second half last year. In the first half last year, the Cardinals were able to get shots from their spots on the floor. We mentioned they hit 7 3-point baskets. Well, so far in this game, Staples Motley's not been able to get to their spots without facing some pretty tough defensive pressure from the likes of Tavon Westbury and Ozzie Lockhart. As expected, both teams start the second half with the first half starters. Staples Motley will get the first possession of the half. Stevens to Kelly. Yeager blocked by Lockhart. Lead pass too far for Washington. Narrative, I think, for the Cardinals to get off to a good start here in the third quarter. They're down about as far as they can afford to be down with 16 minutes to play. They're a good three-point shooting team, but the Polars are not letting them take uncontested three-point shots. Yeager tried one and had it stuffed back in his face. Stevens drives. And a foul on Lockhart. First foul on Ozzie Lockhart.
Glenn Peterson told me in a couple games, Stevens had to step it up and scored up to 16 points in games when Heyer was double-teamed inside. And nice look at the basket by him here to take the ball into the paint to get to the free throw line.
Stevens, the sophomore in the starting lineup for Staples Motley. And we talked about the fact that they start 4 juniors and a sophomore. Minneapolis North starts 3 juniors, a sophomore, and 1 senior. 1 of 2 for Kyle Stevens. Colin Elamine with 17 first-half points. And if you didn't watch yesterday's game, he had 20 in the first half yesterday.
Staples Motley looking like they're in a 1-3-1 zone right now.
One thing St. Thomas Academy did so well yesterday against her. They switched defenses, confused them a little bit.
Well, North hasn't shown any signs of letting up or playing bad basketball. That's why it takes such a game plan to be able to pull off a win over them. You need to have a lot of variety on defense, but you also need to convert on the offensive end, take good care of the basketball, play almost a perfect game.
Heyer gets the basket, and there's a foul. Foul on Jabbar Washington, his second foul. See Kelly losing the ball, then Heyer leaning into the lane, drawing the foul, and getting the basket to go. Washington will check out of the game. And Gray is back in. A missed free throw, but the ball goes out of bounds to Staples Motley. Jerry Hinton into the ball game for North. Heyer inside, goes against Hinton, and it rolls off, but another North foul. Hinton picking up his first.
And Peterson seemingly a little bit happier about what he's seeing on this offensive end.
13th foul on North. Chris Heyer.
There's a bounce pass into Heyer, and the foul by Hinton across the arms.
First 3 fouls of the half go against North. Staples Motley gets the first 5 points of the half. Cardinals playing zone.
Jeff Yeager's going to have to cover that baseline and make sure that he covers it all the way out from...
Elamine off the glass, too hard. The tip no good. Another tip no good. And a foul on Heyer. That'll be his first.
Elamine goes hard after his own rebound there for the tip in. He had the inside position there, though.
5:47 left in the third, and the Jeep Eagles scoreboard. Staples Motley trying to climb back into it.
Keith and Stephanie Brennan each opened a portfolio IRA, not just because it combines various accounts into one plan with one easy-to-read statement. They open portfolio IRAs because they can include a wide range of options from both First Bank and FPS Investment Services, which gives them the flexibility to go in whatever direction they ultimately decide to go.
Dodge Dakota is #1 in resale versus Ford, Chevy, and GMC. #1 in horsepower. #1 in torque. even number 1 in towing. In fact, Dodge Dakota is ranked number 1 in more categories versus any compact. So it should come as no surprise that across America, Dodge pickups are number 1 in sales growth. Now get up to $3,500 off on Dodge Dakota, including $1,000 cash back.
Minneapolis North, as strange as this sounds, is trying to uphold the dignity of the AA class. If they don't win tonight, we'll have an all-Class A final. We have 2 Class A teams meeting in our second game tonight. Fertile Beltrami against Minnehaha Academy.
Staples Motley's only loss this year came to a AA school, Fergus Falls, and they did avenge that loss. Later in the season, they would like to avenge the loss from North last year, though, I'm sure.
Great ball movement, but a careless pass tipped by Heyer and recovered by Kelly. Washington tried to feed it across to Elamine. Too much hang time on the pass. Stevens is blocked and fouled by Westbury, and that's his third.
Already the 4th team foul on North in this second half with just 3 minutes played.
Robin Ingram looking on. Mentioned neither team is what you would call deep. But now a little bit of foul trouble for Kayvon Westbury. Lockhart has really been giving Yeager troubles trying to get his spots on the floor to shoot. Stevens recovered it. Tied up. Jump ball, and it'll go to the Polars. Jumping on the pile, Jabbar Washington.
Number 34,
Andre Gray back into the ball game. I talked with Lynn Peterson before the game about, playing 6, maybe 7 players. He went through the whole tournament last year like that. Robin Ingram is going to his bench more in this game than he did yesterday, but Lynn Peterson said, well, this is something you can... Oh, careless loss of the ball by Gray. Threw it right to Heyer. Kelly driving. Reverse layup. Oh, beautiful play for Eric Kelly.
So you're seeing a little spark from Staples Motley.
They get the first 7 points of the half. But Lynn Peterson was saying you can afford to play with a short bench because of all the TV timeouts and the longer breaks at the end of the quarters. Your players are better rested. So it's not just playing 4 games in 4 days. It's the breaks during the games that allow coaches to play with a little bit shorter bench in the state tournament.
Some coaches like that, like Lynn Peterson probably thinks that's great for him. Some teams that play a real fast-paced style of game, they don't like the interruptions, and they think it alters their game style.
Lockhart picked by Washington. Washington with 6 points. In this game, every play that's been made above the rim has been made by Jabbar Washington. Yeager fakes the 3. Lockhart flies past him. And the rebound to Gray. The basket by Washington broke a 7-0 Staples Motley run. And North went 4 minutes, 15 seconds before it scored a point in the third quarter.
Washington had 16 points in both of the first 2 games. He's been very consistent for them. Just 6 tonight so far, but he definitely makes his presence known on the court.
Kelly traveled. It's neat to see. We saw it after yesterday's game after Colin Elamine scored 41 points. And he addressed his fellow North students and said, hey, we're going to win back-to-back championships. That's confidence. What about Lynn Peterson at halftime? His team is down by 14 points. Says, oh, no, we'll get back into the game. I mean, confidence is so essential at this level. You better have it or you're not going to get here in the first place.
And if any of the Staples Motley players had their doubts, and I'm sure that some of them did, Lynn Peterson probably made believers of them when he went into the locker room and told them, we're going to come back here, guys. And it's contagious, whether it's Elamine With a coach, it really does spread throughout the team.
Elamine from 17. Rebounded by Stevens. It's a 9-point game. North forcing 10 first-half turnovers, getting 12 points from those turnovers. Stevens short with a 3, rebounded by Lockhart. Elamine lays it in. 19 for Colin Elamine.
Add 2 more points, the points on the turnovers.
And a miss inside for Otteson. He's had a tough night tonight. He's had some close-in tries, and he's come up empty-handed. He has 2 points from the free throw line, and that's it. 1:35 left in the third quarter. Staples Motley had the lead down to 7, and now it's back to 11. Talk about bad memories for Staples Motley. Now the Polars pull the ball out with a minute and a half left. This is what they did in the fourth quarter of last year's championship game.
I'm sure Lynn Peterson has had a whole year to think about what he'd do if that happened to him again.
Ozzie Lockhart starts applauding, wanting his section of North fans to make some noise here. We'll see if the Polars can beat another buzzer. If they do, in fact, run out the rest of the period. Now, maybe they're not going to do that. Yeah, this is what North has done a number of times in the tournament. Brought the defense out, and then so quickly made 3, maybe 4 crisp passes and getting an easy basket. They kind of decoy the defense into thinking they're going to run the period out. This time they might be sincere in running out the period. Gee, I wonder who's going to take the shot. It's not Elamine, it's Jamar Washington, and he is blocked with 7.7 seconds left in the third period. And there's an injured player, and it is Washington. No, it's not Washington. I beg your pardon. It's Khalid Elamine, who is down along the baseline.
And Heyer got injured also. He's grimacing and holding his arm in pain.
Hold your breath. We'll take a break and be back in a moment.
Another day. Go to the office. Go to a meeting. Get lunch.
Can I take your order?
Go to the bank. Take the dog to the vet. Or shot.
When you're being tested all day, why not test this? Eagle Talon. Sporty, fun to drive, and it won't test your budget.
Pick up Mom at the airport.
So, you ever gonna get married?
Maybe take Mom back to the airport.
Eagle Talon just might be the best part of your day. See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Cover your walls with quality Glidden paint from Menard. You'll find a finish to suit any room. Spreadwall has a flat finish that's ideal for bedrooms and dining rooms. Just $7.44 a gallon. Spread Low Luster gives a low gloss look to kitchens and baths. Now $10.58. If there's a special color you'd like, Glidden's color matching computer will get the color you want. Menards has you covered with Glidden paint.
Save big money at Menards.
Take a look at what happened here to Khalid Elamine. As he drives into the lane, he takes a forearm here from Heyer, who went up to try to block the pass or the shot. Looks like he got the forearm right across the bridge of the nose. He is up now and is okay. The fear was, of course, that he might have landed on a foot, sprained an ankle, or worse. He will leave the game. Some blood. He is bleeding a little bit, but it doesn't appear to be anything serious. So, very good news for Khalid Elamine and his hundreds of thousands of fans. Wouldn't be the same tournament without him in here, would it? Into the ball game is Jerome Hubbard for North. Probably for just the balance of the third period. Jamar Washington will go to the line for 2 free throws. Staples Motley with 2 fouls. in the second half.
Washington can extend their lead to 13 if he hits these.
Elamine saying he got me right on the lips. If there's a cut, it appears to be a minor one. Yeager. This is higher, and they get 2 back in a hurry. And now they're going to call a turnover, I think, before the period is over with. The Polars turned it over, but now they're going to run the balance of the time off in the third period. So no turnover. There was a inbounds violation, but the Cardinals get 2 back right before the buzzer to get within 11 on the Lincoln Mercury Dealer scoreboard.
There are bounties in life you couldn't begin to measure, and yields that take a generation to know. For that other crop coming up, there's Basis post-emergence herbicide. Basis is one pass control of the grasses and broadleaf weeds that worry you most for about $12 an acre, half the cost of most pre-programs. Basis, 'cause life's a harvest, and corn isn't all you're raising.
The rewards of Lincoln have been recognized by the most discerning Americans. For the 3rd year in a row, the Robb Report has named Lincoln Town Car one of the 5 best luxury cars in the world. Plus, Consumers Digest just named Town Car a 1996 Best Buy. And now, with this $399 a month lease, plus an additional $500 for current Lincoln lease customers, Town Car is an even better buy. Lincoln Town Car, what a luxury car should be.
43-32. Here's the cause for the confusion at the end of the third period. Heyer gets the basket. Watch Kayvon Westbury. He's inbounds. He leaps. He never went out of bounds delivering the inbounds pass, but you can see there was, if there was any time left, it was just a fraction of a second.
Less than a second, right.
10 North turnovers. Staples Motley's turned it over 12 times, and the Cardinals get the ball to begin play here in the fourth quarter. They've got their work cut out for them.
Oh, they certainly do, and again, with the tempo control that North has, it makes that comeback even more difficult.
And that's the one element I've been the most impressed with this year from North. There's Odison, excuse me, his first field goal of the game. Nickname him Moose, but that's not really an appropriate nickname anymore because he's lost 65 pounds from 2 years ago. A 9-point game. Khalid Elamine remains on the bench to start the fourth quarter. Westbury in a tough spot, getting it back for Jerome Hubbard. Savar Washington from 8 feet short, rebounded by Odison. Staples Motley needs somebody to step up big in the fourth quarter. Maybe it'll be Dan Odison. Odison lost it on the floor to Lockhart. Now a blocking foul call on Eric Kelly. That's his third foul. Jeff, what's going on with Khalid Elamine?
Just talked with the trainer, Dick. They had the smelling salts ready there for a second. He looked like for a second he was pretty woozy, but they didn't need to use the smelling salts. Got an elbow in the nose, a little bit of a bloody nose. They're putting ice on it right now. Trainer said he just needs to catch his breath for a second. They expect him back in a couple of minutes. Back to you.
All right. Yeah, if Staples Motley trims the lead by another basket or two, I think we'll see him back in the game. Westbury underneath for 2. Good feed from Lockhart. Westbury's first basket of the game. Kelly, a long three. Short. Rebounded in the lane by Taylor. Cardinals need points, but you need to be very careful with your shot selection here. You don't want to take any quick shots. And that might have been the case there from Kelly. Lockhart in the lane. Beautiful play. 15 for Ozzie Lockhart. And the lead goes back to 13.
And North continuing to shoot the ball well. They cooled off a little bit in the third quarter. they are getting the right shot, high percentage shots for North.
Staples Motley calls a timeout with 5:53 left in the fourth quarter.
The Thompsons got their home equity installment loan from First Bank, not just because they could finance their car and deduct the interest, or get convenient ways to manage their money, or pay for the new addition to their home. They chose First Bank because the bank loaned them 100% of the equity in their home, which let them consolidate their finances and their family all at once.
For special rates and no closing costs, apply by phone today.
There's nothing like a Jimmy to help you stay on top of things. Get some peace of mind. Get a Jimmy. GMC is a proud television broadcast sponsor of the Minnesota State High School Tournament.
Welcome back to the St. Paul Civic Center. Jeff Grayson, Janet Carvinen, and Dick Bramer bringing you our first semifinal game. We have mentioned a number of times that we think Minneapolis North might be better than the team that won the state championship a year ago. One of the reasons they might be better is Carrick Taylor. He doesn't score much, but he does a great job on the boards, and tonight he's leading the floor with 7 rebounds. He's a transfer from Minneapolis South. Higher spins away from Washington, rolls out, and Washington gets the rebound. And back at the other end, Jamar Washington scores the basket.
North keeps scoring while Staples Motley has missed a couple of really close inside shots that would have helped them a lot. I mentioned Taylor. He's number 40 in blue, matched up against Otteson inside, and he's really made it tough for Otteson tonight to even get open.
Kelly misses a 3, and it's been an off-night shooting for Eric Kelly. Washington has 10 points. Lockhart has 15. Elamine has 19. And Robin Ingram was worried about how Staples Motley spreads their offense around. That's pretty good balance when you've got 3 guys, as the Polars do, in double figures already. 5 minutes to play in the game. Cardinals can't sit back in the zone anymore. They've got to play man-to-man, hope for some turnovers and some missed shots. Jamar Washington hits from the outside. That's been the problem. Northview's not missing any shots tonight.
They really aren't. Washington doesn't even shoot very often from the perimeter. He's mostly an inside player, but they're showing that he can hit the jumper.
Alley-oop, a little bit too far for Higher. Saved by Kelly. Now Stevens dropping it down low. Otteson too strong. Rebounded by Taylor. A very frustrating night for Dan Otteson. 8-0 run for the Polars. And they've got the basketball, and they've been doing it without Khalid Elamine. Lockhart is fouled. Foul on Dan Otteson. Otteson with 2 fouls. Lockhart with 13 of those points coming in the first half. Robin Ingram's going back to the championship game for the 2nd straight year. Lockhart with 2 made free throws. A big run for the Polars to start the 4th quarter, and it's a 19-point lead.
Ours has amazing savings for all your spring projects. Get your lawn and garden in shape with tillers from Weed Eater. This garden tiller is $249. A rear tine tiller, $479. Keep your car or truck running strong with Quaker State Motor Oil. A case is $7.08 after rebate. That's just 59 cents per quart. Stock up on spring savings at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
From tournaments past
This great clip is brought to you by Great Clips for Hair.
With the score tied in the final seconds of the 1995 Boys Basketball Championship game, Minneapolis North star Khalid El-Amin misses, but Kayvon Westbury puts in the follow-up with 1.5 seconds left, and Minneapolis North defeats Staples Motley for the championship.
This great clip brought to you by Great Clips for Hair. The Cards have not gotten a point in 3.5 minutes here in the fourth quarter, and that is not the type of streak you want when you are down going into the fourth quarter. Khalid El-Amin has not played in the fourth quarter. We should mention, after their dramatic win yesterday, some people were upset with how North reacted in jumping on the table. You can see they're shooting the ball very well, and or did in the third quarter. And apparently some fans were upset enough to call the TV station. Jabbar Washington tips it free. Gets the basket and an intentional foul on top of it. Just to complete the thought, Robin Ingram and Khalid El-Amin did go by the TV truck before the game tonight and did offer their apologies. And certainly there are no hard feelings here. We hope if they win that they don't run over us again. But it was a nice gesture by Robin Ingram and Khalid El-Amin of the North Polars to do that.
Well, everybody gets excited when they win, but it's important that you don't put anybody else in a dangerous position, and then also celebrate appropriately.
Well, this has been a pretty impressive game here for the North Polars. Washington will get 2 free throws, and then the Polars will get the basketball.
Well, I think Heyer wanted to take him down and make sure that Washington couldn't even attempt the shot, but he didn't want to. He was too nice, and he didn't want to do anything that would be considered cheap, too. When someone's on the run, you don't want to take their legs out from under them or undercut them, and he kind of just tried to hold on to Jabbar, but Washington still converted.
Some confusion as to how many free throws Washington gets. And some confusion along the North bench as to whether that basket counted. Washington gets both free throws.
And North ball. Things looking very bleak for Staples Motley,
sure
trailing 23 points here, 3:49 to play.
Well, a 4-point play already, and now the Polars get the basketball. And North has not needed Khalid El-Amin here in the fourth quarter. That is not an insignificant fact. They certainly needed him yesterday, and he was had another very good game going here tonight, but they have expanded on their lead without their best player.
Fouls on the Cardinals number 3, Jeff Yeager. That's his second personal.
For Staples Motley, they'll make an appearance in the third place game tomorrow. And North will go to the championship game. Ozzie Lockhart, who has the ball now, will